if you take a look at this, it has, the hitting stations all set up. We have an outfield station. Station number 3 is our infield station with a coach. We have a base running station home to first, and we have another coach at third base rolling some ground balls and working on something over there. So this is a way that we're showing you how to break up a group of 12 to 14 kids all at one time. And you'll see there's not a lot of kids in a station. They're smaller, broken up, chunked down into 4 kids in a station with a coach working on a skill set, 5, 6, 8-minute stations, rotating around, having fun. Then you get a drink of water, you finish up with a competition, and maybe it's another set of 3 or 4 stations that you're setting up. So creating a practice plan and having a game plan is so very important when you're trying to run a baseball or softball team. Too many times we just wing it, right? We're coming from work, we're heading to the field, or we go to the batting cages, we have 2 cages, and it's the same exact thing. 1 tee, and then overhand pitch. And then we have 9 kids in a line sitting there just waiting to go. Nobody wants to hit off the tee. They all want to hit off live batting practice, so they all get behind 1 cage, and it's that one coach just peppering balls, firing balls, instead of setting up to where there's a tee station, maybe they're working on PVC pipe turns. Then we have a front toss station, an overhand station, a bunting station, and then maybe a high tee, low tee drill. So now you have all 10 kids at 5 stations, 2 at a station, and you're running an awesome practice that goes by like that, and kids are like, man, that was the best practice we ever had. So I think putting together a practice plan is so important. Do you want to I know you're big on that. Oh, one thing, can you tell us, Coach Steve, about those cards that you use and how you use the game to create your next plan?
Definitely. I always keep a little index card in my pocket. So throughout the game, I take notes. Could be good, could be bad. Again, it's easy for us as coaches, and especially you guys out there, the volunteers, moms and dads that are working a full-time job, to then try to structure a practice plan, once, maybe twice a week, but to remember what went wrong or what went good over the weekend. So what I like to do is keep that little index card, and I'll always write down notes throughout the game. We need to work on our secondary leads from first. We need to work on cuts and relays. We need to work on pop fly communication. So now my practice plan is done for me. So, let's say we finish up on Sunday, we've got Tuesday night practice. Tuesday morning, I can look at my note card and I can structure my practice based on that little index card right there. And it's all things that are fresh, things that we need to focus on from the previous weekend. And again, the practice plan just writes itself. But to touch on what Duke said, I think it's important that you guys map out how many weeks of practice you have before your first game. Are you practicing 1 time per week? Are you practicing 2 times? Is practice an hour long? Is it an hour and a half? And then get with your assistant coaches and create a plan to where, like we mentioned in the field utilization chart, the kids are moving. They're always doing something. Break them up by ability level. That's one thing we like to do, especially at the younger ages. You don't want to pair up the best guy on the team and the worst guy on the team and just assume that they're going to be able to play catch together. It's probably not going to happen. But structure your practice based around, what space you're in, how much time do you have in that specific area. Is practice an hour and a half long? How many assistant coaches do I have? And then try to create as many stations as possible, working on all the different skill sets, especially at the younger ages. Those kids need to work on just playing catch. They need to work on ground balls. They need to work on fly balls. They need to learn how to communicate. Like Duke said, in a batting cage, break that cage up into as many stations as possible to keep those kids moving. That's where baseball and softball become boring. It's when one kid's doing something and the rest of the team's watching. So, if you're hitting ground balls, set up 3 lines. Have a line at third, have a line at short, have a line at second, and have 3 coaches hitting them. This way the kids keep moving. There's no standing around at all. That's one thing we like to do is be as efficient as possible. Keep the standing around to a minimum. Keep it fun, create competitions, and like we said earlier, utilize the entire field. Don't just take one little space. Utilize as much space as you can, as many props as you can, and you'll have fun with it. You'll see how fast practice actually goes.